This story comes from the pages of Marvel Zombies Dawn of Decay, issue number 3. Please support the official release. The next issue picks up right where the previous left off, as we see Groot carrying the unconscious body of Bruce Banner as he journeyed down the New York subway. All to locate the mysterious child he kept hearing cry out for its mother. Approaching closer and closer towards the voice, Groot soon came across an abandoned stroller and what appeared to be a baby lying on the darkened train tracks. Going to help the tiny human, our hero would discover that this was no infant. It in fact wasn't even a child at all. It was merely a toy, playing the phrase over and over again, begging for its mother's help. I'm not really up to date on baby doll lore, but who programs a toy with a catchphrase like this? It's weird and creepy, man. The Guardian of the Galaxy would soon realize that creepy baby dolls were the least of his troubles, where he soon heard the sound of rustling metal quickly approaching him. This was the sound of a flaming subway car filled with countless zombies who came hurtling in his direction. Narrowly evading getting turned into a nice jar of Vegemite, Groot witnessed the train smash into the wall, violently tossing the zombies out. The resilient infected would soon get back to their feet and make their way towards the unconscious Banner, where Groot shielded the man with his body. Seeing he was vastly outnumbered, the Tree Man took a page from Batman's book and used his arm as a grappling hook-like device, where he pulled he and Bruce up to the pipe system, only for one of the pipes to snap, where Groot could only watch in horror as Banner came crashing upon the floor. Absolutely not caring about the 5-second rule, the zombies went to turn Banner into lunch, where quick-acting Groot decided to take a drastic measure and slap the man right in the face, causing him to immediately Hulk out, demanding to know who hit him. Yeah, just a reminder, never do the sleeping pie face prank on Bruce Banner, boys. It's never gonna work out. Believing it to be the zombies who did this, Hulk cornered the creatures, ready to bash their heads in, where Groot tried to get him to calm down and not hurt anyone, for if Banner's calculations were correct, these people could still be saved once he made his cure. While Banner's genius helped him understand Groot's language, Hulk was not exactly taking Grootese lessons on Duolingo, and was continuously annoyed that all the man could say was, "I am Groot." Seeing this as an opportunity, Groot leapt upon Hulk, repeating his catchphrase over and over, which played right into his hands as the brute threw him off and chased after him, leaving the undead safe. At least, for now. As Groot dashed up the subway steps, he was soon caught by Hulk, who vowed he would make him sorry for getting on his nerves, where he then felt an enormous boot come crashing down upon him. While we'd be right to assume this was Bigger Boot from the SpongeBob movie, this was somehow even worse, as we realized this boot belonged to a giant zombified Ant-Man who immediately snatched up Groot and tossed him into his mouth, devouring him whole. Offended that someone bigger than him thought he was stronger than him, Hulk leapt to the skies, where he punched the infected Scott right in the face, sending him into a nearby building. As the man lay unconscious, we would see a series of wooden tendrils surround his teeth, where emerged our hero Groot, who we see was still very much alive, and conveniently right near Avengers Tower, the destination he'd been trying to get to after all this time. Telling Hulk to come along with him, the monster argued back, saying he wasn't some beta male simp, and still wished to fight. Picking up a tank, he then tossed it at the zombie Ant-Man, who deflected the vehicle like a literal toy, right back at the pair, causing it to explode. Not taking this line down, Hulk liked Groot's idea of doing harm to the zombies on the inside, where he then pounced upon Scott's chest and attempted to pry his mouth open so he could pulverize the fleshy organs within. Horrified at the thought of Ant-Man's guts getting literally rearranged, Groot thought back to Captain America's words from earlier in this tale, where he instructed him that he needed to step it up and do what heroes do. Inspired by these words, Groot was struck with genius once more, where he spotted a nearby manhole cover. Channeling his inner Cap, Groot then tossed his makeshift shield at Scott's belt, which activated the Pym particles, causing him to shrink down to a cute, bite-sized zombie, which he placed into a nearby Avengers toy set from an abandoned street vendor. Is he choke-slamming a Lego Hulk? I kinda love this story now. As Hulk was wondering where his big red zombie man went, the quick-thinking Groot once again came to the rescue, where he grabbed a Rocket Raccoon toy from the vendor's shop and played its catchphrase to Hulk, who found him absolutely hilarious once again. So hilarious that he turned back to normal. With Banner back in control, he was overjoyed that Groot was successful in his mission to get him to the tower. All they needed to do next was get inside to his lab so they could make his antidote. In an unforeseen turn of events, Groot would lose control as we see he was still battling with his cold and would sneeze right in Banner's face, infecting him as well, and without the immunity of the Hulk, they had officially lost. However, we would be mistaken. As opposed to Captain America, who turned immediately after getting sneezed on, Banner was still human. Wondering just how this was possible, Bruce quickly deduced that it was never Groot who started this outbreak. It was Steve Rogers all along, the true Patient Zero. We are then brought to one small detail we all completely overlooked in the very first issue, and that was the ink pen General Ross had given Cap to sign Groot and Rocket out of prison. It was leaky, and its supposed ink had gotten all over his hand, and not long after that, became a zombie aboard the helicarrier, which then resulted in this infection, sending this world to hell. Now knowing that Ross was behind all of this, Banner had Groot quickly come with him to the lab, as they were now going to need Cap's blood if his antidote plan was still going to work. Zombie or not, Banner knew exactly what would get Steve's attention. He then activated the loudspeakers on the tower, which broadcasted a message throughout the entire city. This message being Avengers Assemble, which quickly caught the attention of the zombified Cap and the other infected supers present.